Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to another episode of Life with Brian. In today's installment of 5 Things, I am with my 1994 Mazda RX-7 FD, and we're going to go over 5 things that I violently oppose about this vehicle. So the first thing that I oppose about this vehicle, guys, obviously it's gorgeous, it's a beautiful car, there's tons of things I love about it, but it's very fragile in a lot of respects, specifically the doors. These door handles, which obviously you can't tell over the video, feel pretty flimsy and they feel like they will break off in your hand. I understand the earlier models, specifically I think the 93 models, these were aggressively flimsy. Mine's a 94 and these are not as flimsy, but they still feel very flimsy. And whenever I open the door, I kind of make a note to be extremely gentle in doing that. And in fact, I've already had one key break off in this keyhole, which was kind of weird as well. And then on the inside of the door, these this door handle's also been known to be very flimsy and break off as well. I think I watched another YouTube video one time where the owner of his described the feeling of these mechanisms and these switches as feeling like paper mache. I don't know if I would go that far, but they do feel pretty flimsy, guys. And in his video, he actually rolled down the window, and instead of using this little thingamajig here, he would just basically close and open the door by pulling it shut after lowering his window. So the door specifically, guys, again, I get it. It's a early 90s Japanese car, sports car, but there are definitely some fit and finish issues where the car does feel very flimsy. This right here, this feels like it could break off if you breathe too hard on it. The little lids on the back compartment here, storage compartments, which is very useful, but again, this feels like it could kind of crack or pop off at any time. So definitely some fit and finish issues, guys, and that would be the first thing. That's another thing about this car. So whenever I slam the door normally in 99% of my cars, it closes, but this one you really kind of slam it shut, and now it's shut. So some fit and finish issues, and that's my first thing I violently oppose about the Mazda RX-7. The second thing that I violently oppose, guys, is the seating position. So you kind of feel like, so obviously the car is this way, right? But your legs kind of feel like they're at a weird and slightly uncomfortable angle, like you're kind of off center this way instead of facing, dead center. I think it's obviously because this tunnel here is kind of, jutting into that space as well. But yeah, the guys at Throttle House mentioned that as well. It's just, you don't notice it until someone actually mentions it, but then once someone mentions it, you kind of like always notice it. And it is slightly uncomfortable, and you kind of feel like, again, like you want to be facing center, but you're kind of off center and your legs are kind of going this way. So it's a little bit weird. Your knees kind of in a weird position as well. And it's a small car. It's a little cramped. I mean, again, it's I can't imagine how the JDM models had back seats back there. But it is a little bit cramped, guys. But hey, it's a sports car, right? But the seating position is kind of weird, a little bit off center, a little bit uncomfortable. And again, I'm nitpicking here, but that is the second thing I violently oppose. The third, fourth, and fifth thing that I violently oppose about this car, because again, guys, I really had to think about these things because I love the car. There's so many things that are fantastic about it. Its looks, the 5-speed manual, everything, just the character, the vibe of the car, a lot of things to love about it. But again, 3, 4, and 5, I kind of wrap up all together with the reliability issues and the Wankel engine. So I think the Wankel engine is kind of also one of the things that makes the car very unique, and for an enthusiast makes the car very enjoyable to drive. But from a upkeep and maintenance issue, having to check the oil constantly, having to put premix in the car every time you fill up, and you might think, okay, that's not really a big deal, and it's not. Again, first world problem, right, guys? But right now in Houston, it's like 108 degrees outside, and having to stand out there for those extra few minutes to put the premix in kind of sucks. And having to redline it once a day keeps the mechanic away. Don't turn the car off and on in quick succession.
They're just little things that you wouldn't really have to think about another car to do, that you have to do for this car to maintain or try to maintain the engine. None of these cars that I know of have original engines. It's funny, I went to Mazda the other day to get an extra key because one of my keys had broken off in the keyhole, and the guy was like, hey, you know, what's the VIN? And then he noticed I had an RX-7. He's like, well, that's probably not an original engine, right? And it's not. This is, I think for sure it's the second engine. Could be the third or fourth, I'm not sure, but for sure it's the second engine. Because again, this car was in the shop for, gosh, 8 or 9 months when I first got it due to an engine issue. But that aside, yeah, almost all of these cars have had multiple engine rebuilds. And, you know, there's a reason for that. And again, I don't know if maybe they run hard and people don't maintain them. I'm certainly maintaining it, you know, the red line a day, the premix, doing everything I can to, so let's see, you know, how long it lasts for me. But that's definitely a downer in terms of the reliability, that these Wankel rotary engines are not super reliable or known for their reliability. But I've had people, you know, mechanics, people who know way more about cars tell me that, hey, if you take care of them, if you maintain them the way they need to maintain, they will last a while. So we'll see about that. But yeah, so the maintenance, the upkeep, the reliability issues, the fear of the engine just blowing up on you, that's definitely kind of 3, 4, and 5 all wrapped up together, guys. I would never take this car somewhere if I absolutely need to be somewhere. I heard Jay Leno say that on his channel one time with regards to his F1. You know, he just takes it, it's like a fun car, a weekend car, but he doesn't go anywhere with it, that he has to be somewhere on time for, in case, you know, something happens. For me, with this car, it's just, like the other day I had a weird beeping sound that would not go away, and for the life of me I couldn't figure it out. It wasn't the seatbelt chime, it wasn't anything, but it was just beeping, 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 and now it's gone away. It's fixed itself apparently. Have a seatbelt light that stays on even though the seatbelt's on. You know, small things, small gremlins. But you know, this is a fun car. This is definitely a weekend car, a 3rd, 4th, 5th car if you can have it. But I would never take this car somewhere like on a business trip. I would not commute with it. I would never go somewhere I have to be somewhere for like a something work related or for something family related, because I would just honestly be afraid that something would explode or leak. Every time I pull out from my garage with this car, I always kind of look as I'm pulling out to see if there's any puddle of coolant or oil or anything on the ground. So knock on wood. But yeah, I mean, again, no car is perfect, guys. And this car is no exception. And, you know, 3, 4, and 5, I wrap up together with the Wankel, the rotary engine, the upkeep, the maintenance, the extra things you have to do to keep this car running. And unfortunately, the reliability issues would come with the car. Obviously, gosh, now it's 30-year-old car, Japanese car, trying to keep it on the road. But, you know, no car is perfect. So those are the 5 things, guys, that I violently oppose about my 1994 Mazda RX-7 FD. Again, it is a beautiful car. It is a blast to drive. I love finding any excuse to get into this car and drive it. But again, as I always say, no car is perfect, and this one is no exception. And those are the 5 things I had to nitpick to discuss why I don't like, or things I don't like about the car. So hope you guys like the video. Give it a thumbs up, comment below, like and subscribe. Please support the channel. Hope to catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.